Sports.
We are Norfolk. We are Minnesota.
Friday Night Baseball is presented by Kawasaki Terex. It's time for the Minnesota Twins to win a baseball game, especially at home where they now have lost 6 straight. They open up a 3-game series with the Kansas City Royals, who come into this series like the Twins, 5-14. And welcome to Target Field. Dick Raymer joined for the next week and a half by Roy Smalley. Good to have Roy with us. And the Twins ran into a Boston Red Sox team that suddenly got very hot, particularly with the power they displayed from the bottom of their order. Now, the Twins don't have that, but they do have some guys in the lineup again tonight that, if they can get on base, can create some problems.
Alexi KCA and Ben Revere in the bottom of the order has really created some excitement here the last couple of ball games, and what they give away in extra base hit power at the plate, they can make up with speed. A single can be a double and sometimes a triple for both of these two guys, and Lexi's starting to swing the bat very, very well, hitting the ball all over the field. They have their own kind of excitement when they get, as Gardy says, running around out there. They can be as exciting as extra base hits in the Twins offense.
Well, the Twins are taking on a Kansas City team that 48 hours ago ended a 12-game losing streak, including all 10 games that they played at home. They've got the youngest roster in the major leagues and some of the better young stars in baseball.
All 4 of these guys I really, really like. They were all first-round draft picks of the Royals, and those draft pick choices have really paid off. This is the nucleus of team that's going to be a very good offensive team for a long time. This guy's probably my favorite, Billy Butler. I think he has one of the best right-handed swings in all of baseball. Very, very good power to the opposite field, to right center, and that enables him to wait a long time on the ball and not get fooled by off-speed stuff. He is a tough out, and he's off to a very, very hot start so far this year for the Kansas City Royals.
The biggest culprit for the Twins has been the starting pitching. Carl Pavano's given the Twins a couple of quality starts this year. He'll hope for that again here tonight. We'll have more on Carl Pavano when he comes back. Northland Ford dealers. Visit your local Northland Ford dealer or go to northlandford.com. And by Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards.
Cool weather tonight at Target Field, a Central Division collision. The Twins and the Royals looking to get back in the win column, and Ron Gardner will turn to his ace tonight, Carl Pavano. Pavano had success the last time he faced the Royals, September 28th last fall. Pavano was rock solid, a complete game win as the Twins got the run. In walk-off variety, Pavano went the distance and kept the Royals off balance throughout that evening. Twins will look for a similar performance tonight. Earlier today, we went in the clubhouse and talked to Royals cleanup hitter Eric Hosmer about facing Pavano tonight.
Facing a guy like Pavano, he's a guy that just knows how to pitch. You know, he can throw any of his pitches for strikes at any time. So, you know, it's a guy you can't really try and do too much off him because, you know, like I said, he can throw any of his pitches for strikes at any time. So, you know, I think we just got to keep our same approach we always do, just stay through the middle and, you know, just try and get hitters' counts and work the other way.
It'll be Everett Tiford for the Royals, Pavano for the Twins. Dick Bramer, Roy Smalley here at Target Field with all the action coming up next on Fox Sports North.
We're looking for. Minnesota has endured a 5-game slide and needs to get it going again at home. Are the Royals the remedy to what ails the Twins? We'll find out tonight as Carl Pavano hopes to pitch the Twins back to the promised land at Target Field. And those shots you just saw showing players and fans having a good time at Target Field. And Roy Smalley, that's been one of the problems. There haven't been many good things happening at Target Field for the Twins.
We have not had nearly enough fun inside this ballpark, Dick, that's for sure. And perfect guy on the mound, Carl Pavano, as we look at Ned Yost, who's got, as you mentioned, the youngest team in the American League.
The Menards batting order for the Royals. Gerard Dyson leading things off. Very speedy center fielder. Alex Gordon batting second. Then Billy Butler, Eric Hosmer, Jeff Francoeur, Mike Moustakas, Yuniesky Betancourt, Brian Pena, and Alcides Escobar. And right-hander Carl Pavano, who has given the Twins 2 of their 3 quality starts, hopes to give them another one here tonight.
This is a man that just flat knows how to pitch, and he has a plan that he'll take out there every game. He wants to work both sides of the plate against both left-handed and right-handed hitters with his fastball to set up change-ups and breaking balls that he really wants to get guys out with. And the great thing about Carl is if that doesn't work, he'll adjust. He understands what the hitters are doing and what he has, and he will try to make adjustments during the game and is able to.
Northland Ford defense for the Twins. Ben Revere gets left field. Denard Span in center. Trevor Plouffe in right. Valencia, Carroll, KCA, Morneau around the infield. Ryan Domick behind the plate. Joe Mauer is the designated hitter tonight. For the Royals, who know all about how difficult life can be at home, they are 0-10 at Kauffman Stadium. Won a couple of ball games in Cleveland. Won the series in advance of their stop here in Minnesota. And Gerard Dyson takes a strike.
Dyson, a speedster, just called back up to the Royals big club from Omaha. I think their AAA club is. We saw some of this young man last year. He can really fly. He's a Ben Revere type.
1-1 from Pavano. And a strike that clips the corner. See the Twins infield releasing a little bit now with 2 strikes. Pavano with a long look in, and Dyson stands away from the plate, gets out of the box. Roller to the right side. Pavano's going to have to hurry, and Morneau can't field it cleanly. And Dyson and his speed are aboard.
Even if Justin had been able to field that ball cleanly, that was going to be a foot race between Dyson and Carl to first base. And here you see right here, Dyson's got the lead on Pavano. I don't know even if Justin fields that ball cleanly if he's going to be it.
They'll give Morneau an error on the play. And Pavano, who does not do a particularly good job of holding runners, has a challenge right out of the chute. Alex Gordon, the batter. And Dyson leaning towards second, and he gets back to first in his stance after his leadoff. He's visibly leaning towards second, then it looked like he took a half step in that direction.
I don't know if there's any doubt in his mind he was going right there.
Almost a quick pitch by Pavano, and he delivers ball 1.
Managers watch those little flinches very carefully, and that is usually the impetus for calling a pitch out when they see a guy flinch like that on either a throw or a step off from the pitcher. Then it becomes a cat and mouse game.
Deep to right, and a quick 2-0 lead for the Royals. Way over the seating section in right field. And the other guy scored first again.
Alex Gordon, one of those real good young hitters that we talked about in the opening of the show. He got off to a really awful start, but he's been heating up lately. And that was a ball that was elevated by Carl right in the middle of the plate. And watch this pitch right here, right in the middle of the middle. Alex Gordon, that ball's already up. Doesn't take much to get it up in the air and out of here.
So 2-0. Here's Billy Butler, and there's a strike. So Pavano finds himself behind on the 6th pitch of his night, going after Butler. Had a good series against the Indians, and he lifts one to center field. And Span over in the gap a little bit for the first out. You can see Pavano has made a habit this year of digging himself an early hole.
And this is what you tell yourself as a hitter. All good pitchers seem to have this kind of characteristic where you got to get them early before they settle into a groove. Carl oftentimes is trying to find the strike zone with his fastball, and he's throwing an awful lot of them right there, right in the middle of the zone. That's kind of typical for Carl in the first inning. I think that's the reason for that stat. And then as he goes along and gets loose, and he starts finding the perimeters of the zone.
Time called as Pavano was ready to deal to Eric Hosmer, off to a slow start batting average wise, but a dozen RBIs, 5 home runs. And Pavano misses inside 1-1.
This young man's got a lot of power. He's going to be a real good player in this league for a long time.
lifted foul and out of play. We made the comment, Bert and I did, last year when we saw the likes of Hosmer, Moustakas, guys come up that in a lot of ways it reminded me of the Twins early 80s when Herbeck, Gaetti, Laudner, all those guys came up, and you could see the potential offensively, but nothing really happened as a team until the pitching got better.
It's always the case, and those guys were great young players, and you could tell that was a nucleus that was going to be very much like this club, and with the Kansas City Royals, it's going to be a great hitting ball club, and they could catch the ball too, but you have to be able to pitch.
Laced to the shortstop. Carroll catches a line drive for out number 2. 2 gone, and that'll bring up Jeff Francoeur.
I love seeing that at bat from a young hitter against a veteran pitcher. Here's a guy that can hit the ball 9 miles to right field, but when he got 2 strikes, he, like he said in his interview that we saw right before the game, stay in the middle of the field. He was able to line that ball the other way. It was just right at somebody.
Strike 1 to Jeff Francoeur. Wily veteran compared to some of the other youngsters around this lineup for Kansas City. Francoeur's been around a while, and he's been a great influence on a lot of these younger Kansas City players.
And he can do it with some real credibility too. A 20-20 guy last year with 46 doubles. Not too many people can do that or have done that. 20 home runs, 20 stolen bases, 46 doubles. That's some real damage.
1-2. 2-2. A good defensive outfielder. Alex Gordon winning a Gold Glove in left field, but Francoeur has one of the better arms in right. Carroll to his left. They have to hurry, and he gets Francoeur to end the inning, but an error and a home run and a quick 2-0 Kansas City lead. Two to nothing with a long home run to right field. Ron Gardenhire hoping that the Twins can rebound from this early deficit with this Menard's batting order. Denard Span leading off. Jamie Carroll, Joe Mauer, Justin Morneau, Ryan Doumit, Danny Valencia, Trevor Plouffe, Ben Revere, and Alexi Casilla. Everett Teaford pulled out of the bullpen to start tonight because of an elbow issue for one of the better young pitching prospects the Royals have, Danny Duffy.
Teaford, not overpowering stuff, but the Royals love his inner makeup. They think he's got an awful lot of guts. He'll battle like crazy. Throws a fastball that cuts a little bit on right-handers and then tries to get him out with a changeup. And he's got a bigger, slower curveball to use against left-handers. So they like his stuff, but they really, really like his toughness.
Denard Span will lead things off. He'll be followed by Jamie Carroll and Joe Mauer. Span takes a strike that covers the inside corner. And now 1-1. Mentioned that Twins have some hitters that are off to good starts individually. Span would have to be on that list, hitting at .333. 1 and 2. You'd like more clutch hits. That's always the case, but the Twins 1 through 9 have had a tough time hitting in the clutch. And Span was at the plate, striking out to end the ball game here on Wednesday night with the bases loaded. 1 and 2. Doing something he rarely does, and that's chase a pitch out of the strike zone.
He very rarely does that. You know, this young man is a very important cog in the Twins lineup. We talk about Mauer and Morneau a lot, and now Willingham, but the leadoff hitter in the American League is very, and especially for these Twins, very, very important, because it's not only important for him to set the table for the big guys, but you come back around as the leadoff hitter, you get a lot of chances to drive in runs as the lineup turns over a few times with a designated hitter. You got the extra bat in the 9 spot, and he does that really, really well. Really grind out tough at bats against all pitchers, but especially against left-handers. That's a good at bat right there.
Alex Gordon, the Gold Glove winner in left. Dyson Fleetafoot in center. Frank Coeur, great arm in right. Moustakas, Escobar, Betancourt, and Hosmer around the infield. Brian Pena behind the plate. So Tiefert not handling an early 2-0 lead the way you'd like. He walks the leadoff batter. Here's Jamie Carroll. Bunting towards first and caught by Hosmer, and Span gets back to the bag. So Carroll gone on one pitch. His bunt attempt about 60 feet up the line on the fly, caught by the first baseman.
You know, we did an instructional on bunting for a base hit a couple nights ago. Watch where this pitch is. It's high. When you're bunting for a hit, and in this case it's a hit, and in the very worst case a sacrifice, you've got to get a good ball to bunt, just like you got to get a good ball to hit. And there's no way that Jamie can bunt that ball on the ground when it's stomach high. It's just very, very difficult. Your head's moving a little bit because you're running to try to get a base hit, starting early. That's first rule of bunting for a hit. Get a ball that you actually can bunt well.
Mauer takes a strike on the inside corner. Joe backing up an off day yesterday with a DH day tonight. The manager's decision to do that. Joe will be catching tomorrow. And it is a day game after a night game. And Joe would catch one or the other. And so Twins going with Mauer behind the plate tomorrow and very likely Sunday. And Tiefert drops down sidearm to get strike 2 on Joe Mauer.
Interesting pitch there. I'm not sure Joe or any of the Twins hitters have seen. All of a sudden come from the side like that. It has a tendency to freeze you a little bit.
Laced foul down the left field line. Again, Danny Duffy's got an elbow issue. The Royals are treating that like the Twins did with Nick Blackburn, just skipping him a start, hoping things calm down a little bit, and he'll be ready to go, they hope, in time for his next start. 2 strikes to Mauer. Breaking ball wide of the plate. Duffy got ahead of Span and lost him to a base on balls. Mauer with 1 home run. It was hit here in the last homestand. Probably a good thing for Ned Yost and the Royals that they did leave Kauffman Stadium after a winless 10-game homestand. Cleveland probably never looked so good to the Royals, and it did after a winless 10-game homestand.
Are you saying nothing like an 0-10 homestand to make Cleveland look good?
Down the line, twisting foul again. And then the Royals did what the Red Sox did in Minnesota. They played much better away from home.
You know, you do press a little bit. You not playing the way you think you can. You come home and really want to put on a good show for the fans, and sometimes you try to do a little bit too much. I think that's what the Twins hitters have been guilty of with runners in scoring position.
Foul back. It's not just the Twins. It's not just the Royals. A lot of teams in the American League Central struggling. Look at this. The Tigers, they've already been crowned as the division champs, and they have a losing record at home. The White Sox have a losing record at home, and then so do Cleveland and Minnesota. So much for home field advantage.
You know, and it's so early. There are a lot of teams that are not playing well as we think, like the Angels. A lot of hitters not swinging the bats. I mean, Louis Pujols and Jose Bautista, and a lot of guys hitting below the Mendoza line or very close to it in this early in the season. It's a long year. Things have a tendency to even out.
This will be the 15th pitch of Tieford's first inning. And a lot of them to Mauer, who still stands in there with a 1-2 count. Low throw, and Hosmer has to dig it out. Tieford almost spiked that pickoff throw to first base. Span with a good break. Mauer grounds it down the line fair. Span rounds second. Rounds third. Mauer to second. Mauer to third. It's an RBI triple and a 2-1 ball game.
Well, that's what the Twins need right there. A big at bat from Joe. Inside fastball that he turns on. He's able to sneak it between Hosmer and the line. And with where the right fielder was playing, there's no chance for them to even think about Denard. The only play is whether Joe's going to get 2 or 3. The cutoff man was lined up for home, and I think that was a mistake. Cutoff man lined up for home. If they'd have thrown it to him, Joe still has third base because there's no chance you're going to get Denard.
Up high to Morneau. The Royals playing the infield back, and in the case of second baseman Betancourt, into short right field. They'll concede the tying run on anything hit past the pitcher. One and 0 to Morneau. Foul back. The story of the season so far for the Twins offensively, situations like this and simply not getting it done.
And it never has been more obvious than when you look at some of these stats when they score 4 or more runs or when they score 3 or fewer. But I think down there at the bottom, the runners in scoring position, they have been so close so many times to breaking the game open. They just needed one hit. And it wasn't just one inning. It wasn't in the bottom, only in the bottom of the 9th or just one inning some other time in the game. There have been multiple opportunities and just haven't quite gotten there yet. But they will. Again, it's a long season. These things come in streaks. This team's going to hit 1 through 9. And when more guys start hitting, that runners in scoring position.
Morneau with a solid single to center. He beat the shift. Mauer scores, and it's a 2-2 ball game. Morneau thought about advancing to second on the sloppy throw back in by Dyson. But Mauer and Morneau each getting a first inning run batted in.
Very important first inning here for the Twins. Again, the starting pitching has not been that great, but they come right and they give Carl gives up 2 runs in the top of the first. Here they're able to come right back, something they've not done a lot of so far. Now it's right back to a 2-2 ball game. Everybody can take a deep breath, and Carl can get back to pitching. Here their big boys really come through, driving in the tying runs there and giving Carl a fresh start. Great hitting by Justin Morneau, not trying to do too much. You mentioned he beat the shift, Dick. In a situation like that, when they're giving you a run, all you have to do is put the ball in play past the pitcher, hit a ground ball somewhere.
You high-def viewers, I think you saw some raindrops falling.
Look here, he stays right in. He doesn't try to pull the ball. It's a high breaking ball, and he just goes right with it back through the shortstop hole. Good hitting.
Ryan Doman takes up high, ball 1. Dave Island is the pitching coach now for the Royals. He made a trip to the mound to talk to Everett Tieford. Wrap to third. Moustakas to Betancourt, and a double play wraps the inning up. But the Twins get a leadoff walk, and the 3 and 4 batters each drive in a run, and we've got a 2-2 game.
Time for our Sanford Health injury report. We turn back to Wednesday night. Chris Parmalee in the box, and ouch, a fastball right up in the head. Parmalee has a black eye because of it. I had a conversation with him this afternoon. He said it felt like getting punched in the head. He had never been beaned for his entire baseball career, all the way back through Little League. There was a time when he got a bat in the nose. He's still dealing with that, but he said, boy, he still is shaking a little bit. It's good to be back out taking batting practice, and I would expect him back, guys, in the next couple of days. What a scary moment that was.
When you think about how lucky he was, the pitch hit him in the bill of the helmet. There's a pop-up near second base. Carroll out in short center field for the first out. But Roy, the ball hit him in the bill of the helmet, and it glanced upward. It could just as easily have glanced downward into his eye. As it is, he's got a bit of a black eye. But what a scary but fortuitous event for Chris Parmalee to have not gotten more seriously hurt.
It really is unbelievably lucky, and even if the ball had been fractions of an inch lower, you know, it's a devastating hit by pitch there in the face. It was very lucky, scary, and turns out lucky.
Yuniesky Betancourt, kind of a utility player for the Royals now. He rips one to third, couple of line drive outs. Pavano will take him 2 away. In the first inning, Hosmer lined out to Carroll, and Betancourt hit a hot liner to Valencia. And that'll bring up Brian Pena. Pena getting a chance to catch more than the Royals thought or hoped. Salvador Perez, their outstanding young catcher, is out with a knee injury. Will miss the first couple of months. So the Royals, a little thin in the catching department, are hoping that Perez will be able to come back and do the bulk of the catching after the All-Star break. 1 strike. And now 2.
There's kind of classic Carl right there. Throw a hard fastball on the upper inside part of the zone, and then come back with not exactly a changeup, but a sinking fastball on the outside. That's his whole mode right there.
Punch to left. Revere smothers it, and Pena with a base hit. Twins haven't had efficient, shall we say, corner outfield play. I don't know though, Roy, on a ball like that, unless Revere is confident with 2 outs that he's going to make that play. That's not a bad play, is it? Playing it on a hop?
No, I think it's a good play here. And again, another good pitch, just good hitting by Pena there. He just flips it out there to left field. And I don't think Ben got a great jump on the ball. And you're right, Dick. It's not a bad play. Just keep that ball in front of him with 2 out. If that ball gets by him, it's a much bigger deal than runner on first.
Now a bouncer to Valencia, and the inning ends on the very next pitch. A score in a second. 8 pitches thrown by Carl Pavano, and we got a tie game.
We've had a long blast by the Kansas City Royals and quality hitting by the Minnesota Twins, something that they've needed from the M&M boys. Clutch hitting by Joe Mauer to drive in a run, and then very good situational hitting. Guys, it's raining down here, it's cold and damp, and we know that runs are at a premium in this ballpark. Situational hitting, even for the middle of the lineup, so important today so far. The Twins have done it.
Well, thanks to them, the Twins hope to continue to do that. That's one of the areas of weakness through the first 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks of the season. Danny Valencia has been a victim of that. He takes strike one. Batting average of just over 200. Just 7 runs batted in, and the lone home run hit here the other day. One and one. Tiford to Valencia, and there's home run number 2. I think. Oh, what a catch by Gordon! Alex Gordon taking one away from Danny Valencia.
That is a terrific play by the Gold Glover right there. He benefits from the ball being hit high in the air. He can get back to the wall and try and time his jump. Danny gets a breaking ball, gets the bat head out, and hits it pretty well. He thinks it's gone. We all think it's gone. Danny's in his trap, but look, Gordon's back to the fence, times, and gets over into the flowers. What a nice play by a third baseman turned Gold Glove outfielder. Nice play.
How many players can be an infielder, make the move to the outfield and win a Gold Glove in their very first season?
I was shocked because when they tried to put him out there 2 years ago, and he really didn't look like he was going to be comfortable out there at all. The one thing that you will say about Alex Gordon, he always looked like a terrific athlete, and I could never figure out why he wasn't better at third than he was, but he has really found a home out there in left field.
Well, my apologies for the premature home run call, but when that ball left home plate, I thought it was 10 rows back. 2-1.
I was with you, Dick. Don't feel bad. I thought it was an easy home run too.
Dick, I'm down here at field level, and it started raining, and it was a home run going out of the infield. The wind has kind of changed and is blowing in, and it's just really heavy and thick air tonight. That ball earlier in BP when Roy and I and you were down here, that ball's definitely 15 rows back.
3-2 to Plouffe. We see balls die hit to center field and to the gaps, but generally if it's hit down the line with any oomph on it at all, right, it clears the wall.
Yeah, that's where the ball carries in this park, from straightaway left field to the left field foul pole, and likewise from straightaway right to the right field foul pole. But Coombs right, when the air gets heavy here, and I guess it's heavy with raindrops right now.
That one's not coming back. Plouffe tees off, and it's a fair ball home run, and the Twins take the lead.
Good for Trevor Plouffe. That's what they've been waiting for. He has that kind of power. He's got a lot of life in his bat. He's working so hard with Twins hitting coach Joe Vavra on changing his stance, changing where his head is, and it's starting to pay off. He's had some good at-bats with nothing to show for him lately, and boy, that's a big weight off of his shoulders. That's a great feeling. Trevor Plouffe hitting that ball out, and Joe Vavra, I know, really happy for him as well. They're working really hard every day at 1:30 in the afternoon.
Here's Ben Revere taking a ball.
Guys, you look at that swing too. That's a nice controlled swing with a lot of thunder. Roy, we both see, you know, Plouffe has power, but that is a really good controlled swing.
Bouncer to second. Betancourt to Hosmer. Revere retired, out number 2.
Cove, you're going to see right here what he's working on with Joe Vavra. Keep your head a little bit more still and behind your swing. His head has a tendency to move around an awful lot. They've been working very hard. To his credit, he comes out every day really early, about 1:30, and you can see it from down there from that side view, Combe. You know how much better and how much less movement that body's going through right there.
Down low to KCA. So the Twins with 1 home run. They've nearly hit back-to-back home runs to start this second inning, and now KCA takes ball 2.
Coom, the other great point you made at the top of the inning here was the situational hitting. When you get a guy like Justin Morneau to get the run in, hitting the opposite way, anybody else on the team sees that too, don't you think?
Absolutely. You know, you get a high breaking ball from a lefty, and instead of pulling off it and maybe hitting a bullet one hopper to first base where they may have a play at the plate, staying the other way into the middle, you know, even though you're the big bopper on the team, it really does. It sets the tone for the game. And you know, we both have played with puck. He was a guy that played the game the right way, and I think for Justin that really helps the ball club.
KCA shoots one to the opposite field on a 3-1 count, and the Twins have 4 hits and a walk first time through the order. Tickets to see the Cubs, Phillies, and Brewers are going to be hard to come by this summer, but one way of getting your ticket without any problem is joining the Twins season ticket family. 20-game and 40-game packages are still available, and packages begin at just $220. Call 833-TWINS or visit twinsbaseball.com to learn all there is to learn about the great benefits of being a Twins season ticket holder. Here's Denard Span. Fell behind Tiefert early in his at bat and ended up turning it into a plate appearance and a walk.
And with 2 out, really good time to run Alexi KCA from first base. Take a chance on a stolen base.
Off the mound and into center field. Span with a base hit. KCA checks in at second base.
I really think as their careers go along, it's going to be very important for Ben Revere, Alexi KCA, and especially this man, Denard Span, to become proficient at stealing bases. That's the one part of the game at this point in time in Denard's career that he could really improve. He could get to the next level. We know he can do this. He can get a single as well as anybody, but that a lot of his singles need to end up as doubles.
Right.
And the same with Lexi there. They need to really work with Jerry White on figuring out how to read pitchers' moves so that they can be a threat to be on second base every time they're on first.
Tom Kelly was talking about that when he was up here for the Boston series, saying, you know, if you're not going to rattle, in essence, I'm paraphrasing, if you're not going to rattle the fences every once in a while or drive it consistently into a gap, you need to turn those singles into doubles, and that's something
right.
Span needs to work on.
That's exactly right, and especially with those 3 guys hitting at the bottom of the lineup and then turning over to Span, Ben Revere and Lexi and Denard, it's hard to get 4 hits in an inning, 4 singles and get 2 runs. I mean, if you're not going to, and TK's right, if you're not going to hit the extra base hits, you got to turn them into extra base hits.
Span with a fly to center, hit right at Dyson, and the Twins leave 2 aboard. Danny Valencia almost hit a home run. Trevor Plouffe did, and the Twins have a 3-2 lead. Outfielder hit a home run tonight. Trevor Plouffe is leading the balloting, and the Arby's Value Player of the Game. Text the word value followed by a space And the player's named a short code 234-234. Twins playing with the lead here 3-2. And Gerard Dyson will lead things off in the third for Kansas City. Showing bunt and taking the ball.
Danny Valencia playing in on the grass at third and then charging when he sees Dyson square a little bit. You can see Danny there, but this is one of those situations where he will not bunt or get a hit on one of those.
Valencia's got to hurry. Oh, he's making a fine play.
That's a good play.
Off balance throw, and he had a little mustard on it.
And that's the only way he can make that play against a guy that runs that well is be playing in that far. And with a guy like that, you just take all of that kind of stuff away. He may not get a hit like this. You can't give him that. You got to make him hit the ball hard to get on.
It's one of the things that Twins have wanted Valencia to be able to do and be willing to do, and that is increase his range going to his left and go ahead and take a ball away from the shortstop when he can.
And he's learning still to do some of those things that will make him a better and better third baseman. But you don't go out there to third base and just stand there and play the hot corner off your chest. You can do it. To be a good third baseman, you need to do a lot of athletic things and anticipate a lot of things.
And Pavano working the outside corner, then the inside corner, and it's 0-2 to Gordon with a long home run to right. Just missed hitting a flagpole out there. Gordon doing what the Twins saw Michael Kadire succeed at doing, play in the infield and not play particularly well in the infield. They put him in the outfield, and the results were even more dramatic for Gordon than they were for Kadire.
It took Michael a little while to get established in right field, but he really got comfortable there over time and helped him at the plate, and he became a terrific outfielder. Alex Gordon, you're right. It took him no time at all.
1-2 from Pavano. And a solid stroke to center. Gordon is 2 for 2 against Pavano. Fans, go to foxsportsnorth.com, click on Circle Me Bert to submit an email on why your sign should be circled on an upcoming broadcast, and have a chance to visit us in the broadcast booth. We'll reveal 2 of the sections the morning before each game. One will be listed on foxsportsnorth.com, the other on KFAN.com. That is a animated artificial circle. I have not been practicing. I'm not getting better with my circling. And I'm a little disappointed, frankly, I was unable to do the circling in Bert's absence. For those of you wondering, Roy Smalley is going to be working the next week and a half, and I'd like to do what I can to refute the rumors. Bert is not away on paternity leave. He's just taking some time off.
Just working on his short game, I think, and it sounds to me like he's it's paying off a little.
Well, he texted me the other day and said he shot 76. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. So 1 down, Gordon at first, and Billy Butler at the plate. Butler with a fly ball to center his first time up. Outside. And it's 2-0. So you're going to be working tonight's game, then Sunday's game here, and then the West Coast road trip too.
Yeah, it'll be great fun. I love doing ball games here for Bert at Target Field when I get the chance, and going out to Anaheim and Seattle won't be all bad either.
Anaheim, you still got family out there?
No, a little bit. I've got my sister's son is out there, so he's a lawyer out there. Gets a chance to see him. And,
so he'll be buying lunch out there.
And he better be. And then my sister actually coincidentally lives up in Seattle, so I am going to see some family or outside of Seattle, in the islands.
2-0 to Butler. Fouled away, 2-1. Now Bert this year is cutting back his work schedule, as is his right, to around 100 games, and so we'll be hearing a lot of Roy Smalley and Ron Coomer. We had Tom Kelly here for the Boston series. High and deep to left. Heading back to the wall is Revere, and that one clears the wall. Butler with a home run, and the Royals are back in front. Second 2-run home run for Kansas City, and they jump back in front.
These young fellas can hit, and when you catch a guy limping, they don't miss too much, especially this guy right here. Again, he got a fastball, kind of a mediocre fastball in the middle of the plate. This wasn't Carl's best effort. I think he meant for it to sink, and it stayed right in the middle of the zone. And Billy Butler doesn't miss too many of those.
Here's Eric Hosmer, hit a line drive to Carroll for out number 2 of the first inning. You know, you look at it, you see pitches like that, and you realize it doesn't make any difference whether your name is Liam Hendricks or Carl Pavano. You leave a pitch up there, and it's going to be hit hard.
If you throw that pitch to a big league hitter, it's going to get hit most times.
Span over to his left for out number 2. Frank Cooler will hit next. You can submit a question or comment online at carsoup.com/baseball. Jennifer Swanson from Austin wondering, are the Royals the youngest team in baseball? And we identified them as such. Average age of just over 27 years. And that's why they came into this season filled with optimism. Fouled away. They've got the All-Star game this summer. And it kind of reminded me the build-up for the Royal season this year, the optimism the Twins had in '85 when they last hosted the All-Star game. They had a competitive 1984, disappointing final week, and everyone thought, well, '85 is their year, and '85 might be one of the more disappointing years the Twins had in the '80s. 2 runs for the Royals on another home run.
Orthopedics and sports medicine for the everyday competitor in all of us. By CenturyLink. And by Grand Casino. The best stories start here.
Second lead handed to Everett Teaford. Here are 2-run home runs for the Royals. The Twins have scored in every inning against Teaford. And the 3, 4, and 5 batters will face him here in the 3rd. Breaking ball over for a strike. Teaford hung one to Mauer in the first inning, and Joe bounced a triple into the right field corner.
And then hung one to Justin Morneau, the next batter, and he lined it to left center to get the run in.
Another breaking ball, 2 strikes.
Yeah, 2 better breaking balls there. Those might be the 2 best we've seen from Teaford so far. You know, when you get a game like this, sitting on the bench, you say, okay, fine. We're going to be in a slugfest. Let's be in a slugfest. Come on, let's score 10 runs, and that's got to be the mindset. We're just going to keep hammering until we win the game after 9 innings. So let's go. But get your hitting shoes on. Let's go.
1-2 to Mauer. Looking low, 2-2. As dreadful as the start has been for both the Twins and the Royals, Mauer drives it deep to left center field. It splits the gap. He's got another extra base hit. A triple, now a double, leading off the third.
You could see it coming with Joe. He's the type of guy that once he starts getting comfortable and seeing the ball well, the hits start coming. Their singles up the middle, their singles to left, and then here they come. Here come the extra base hits. We've just seen it too many times. This is the real Joe. What last year, all the injuries that he had, just never got on track, but he feels good this year, and you just see it coming. These streaks where he could hit 460 for a month. It's just amazing and fun to watch. We saw this start about 10 days ago, I would say, Dick, and here come the base hits, and he just kind of quietly got over 300, and it's kind of like a home run hitter who hits one, they start to come in bunches. Joe starts raining hits all over the place when he starts feeling like this.
Morneau spins one over the screen. Lace to center, and Dyson makes the catch. Morneau hit the stuffing out of that ball, and it actually sliced back toward Dyson a little bit for the first out of the inning. Wow. Twins are teeing off against Tiford, and the Royals are teeing off against Pavano.
Real good at bats by the Twins hitters. They're staying in the middle of the field, especially the left-handers against this left-handed pitcher. Justin now with two real good at bats, a line drive to left center, a line drive to right center.
Doman takes low, a ball. Doman ended the first inning with a ground ball to the third baseman, Moustakas. Out in front, 1-1. Trying to take advantage of Mauer's leadoff double. Morneau hits a rocket for the first out of the inning. Doman second on the team with 10 runs batted in.
Justin hit it, not only hit the ball well, but hit it to the right side of the field, trying to get, at the very least, get Joe over to third. Very, very tough base running play for Joe when the ball's hit that hard. Almost directly at the center fielder.
Up high, 2-1.
Ideally, what you want to do there is the runner at second base and nobody out. When someone hits a ball like that to the outfield, you have to turn around and read as fast as you can whether or not you think the guy's going to catch up the ball and then go back and tag up. But you really do want to get to third base as best you can. And so Joe was thinking about scoring on that, and then he got a little bit too far off to be able to tag up.
Taken for a strike, 2-2. Tiford handed a 2-0 lead before he threw his first pitch. Twins took a 3-2 lead, now a 4-3 lead. And Doman swings over the top of the breaking ball, out number 2. That'll bring up Valencia. Fox Sports North and Best Buy support the boys and girls clubs of the greater Twin Cities. Fox Sports North girls and local college and pro athletes celebrated boys and girls club members recently at the 8th annual Kids in the City event. Find out how you can make a difference in the lives of club kids by visiting foxsportsnorth.com and click on the Fox Sports North supports banner. All right, big at bat here for Danny Valencia. Taking low, ball 1. Valencia thought he hit a home run leading off the second.
Watch this breaking ball right here, Dick. We were talking about how Tiford not really getting a lot of good breaking balls over. We saw the big curveball that Danny Valencia almost hit out. He's gone to the harder one, the harder slider almost exclusively. And that ball came up there looking like a fastball, and Doman swung right over the top of it. But it looks to me now like Tiford's decided, I don't have a lot of confidence in that slower one. I'm gonna throw the harder, the slider.
The Twins need a clutch 2-out hit from Valencia to tie the game. And he watches it all the way in, takes a strike, 1-1. Too many leadoff doubles haven't scored. Too many men at third with less than 2 out haven't scored. A little 2-out hitting would go a long way toward making everybody feel better about things.
Good chance that Danny's not going to see that slow breaking ball again. I thought you correctly called for a home run. I thought it was 10 rows back when he hit it. So he's got to be looking for a fastball or something hard coming in on him, don't you think, Coop?
Well, you never know. To me, Danny was looking like he was trying to hit the ball the other way in batting practice, at least some. If you look at the outfield play, they're shifted way around to left center, Dyson in center field. Danny looks to pull the ball so much. I just have a hard time. Yep.
Pop straight up. T-Ford and the catcher, Pena, and Pena calls him off. And the Twins get their leadoff double to leave Mauer aboard. It's still 4-3. Fan guide for a chance to win a VIP experience for 2 this year at the World Series. A game of someone's choice, presented by Scotts, the official lawn care company of Major League Baseball. Mike Moustakas will lead off the 4th for Kansas City against Carl Pavano. You played in the 1987 World Series, but you gone to any other World Series? You probably went to the 91 one.
I didn't miss a game in 91. That was the second most exciting World Series I've ever been at. But you know what? Growing up in Los Angeles, and I went to some. I've been very, very lucky. I've been to a lot of Dodger World Series.
You didn't go to the 65 one, did you?
I did not go to the 65 one. I will tell you that my uncle Gene Mock got tickets for him and me in '63 when I saw Sandy Koufax beat the Yankees in the last game, beat them 4-0. We sat in the dugout boxes in Dodger Stadium, which is the field level. And literally, my eye level is about where Johnny Roseboro, the catcher of the Dodgers' eye level was.
Popped up right side. And KCA calls for it. 1 down.
That was an amazing experience watching Sandy Koufax throw it that hard and have the curveball break that big right in front of my 10-year-old eyes. I didn't really know. I wanted to be a major league player. When I saw that, I didn't know if I ever would be. I said, I don't think I can hit that.
1 gone. Here's Yuniesky Betancourt. Hit a liner to Valencia his first time up. First World Series I ever went to was the 1980 World Series that involved the Royals. Here's a pop-up left side now. Valencia retreats behind the bag. outnumbered two. Good friend of mine, John Wathen, used to play for the Royals, and the Royals have been stymied in the playoffs by the Yankees all those years, like the Twins have gone through over the last few years, and they finally punched through in 1980 and lost to the Phillies that year. But that was a very enjoyable experience. I don't know that you ever forget your first World Series, whether you're there as a fan or a player or a broadcaster.
That's right.
Here's Brian Pena. Pena singled his first time up. Sent a little sinking line drive in front of Revere and left. And strike two. And a little roller. Scooped up by Carroll. Pena retired. And on the even-numbered innings, Carl Pavano getting through the Royals very quickly, this time on 9 pitches. Baseball presented by Kawasaki Terex ATV on Fox Sports North. Dick Raymer and Roy Smalley working tonight and Sunday's game. Tomorrow is a game on the Fox network. And the announcers will be Steve Fiziak, who does Royals games, and Mitch Williams, who of course is the former relief pitcher for a number of clubs. And we've got Samantha Noreen here on her birthday. There you are on TV, Samantha. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Samantha.
And she gets to go to a Twins game and gets to come up and visit us up here in the booth because she and her family were circled. That's right. She was in the circle me section. And Grandpa and Grandma said they never saw her get circled. So that was back on your birthday last year. So we tried it again this year and it worked. So happy birthday. Trevor
Samantha
Plouffe
told me she brought her BFF Jordy with her. That's
right.
Pretty special.
Trevor Plouffe homered his last time up. He takes up and away from Everett Teaford. Teaford again, a long reliever for the Royals this year. And he's been put into the rotation on a one-time only basis. Plouffe lifts it down the right field line. There'll be a long run for Frank Coeur. Looks back in the seats. Teaford getting the start here in place of Danny Duffy, who has an elbow issue that is right now deemed to be minor.
I never liked hearing about elbow issues. That always worries me.
1-1 to Plouffe. Revere and Casilla will follow. Down and in, 2-1. And a called strike. 2-2.
You'll notice how Trevor is standing a little bit more upright. Joe Vava's been working with him on his batting stance. he used to kind of stick his belly out. He didn't really have his legs firmly underneath him, and it was a real different type of stance. And Joe's saying, you know, nobody else in the big leagues hits like that, and you can. A lot of guys can hit different ways, but nobody does that. He said maybe you ought to try getting your legs underneath you a little bit better, and so it'll allow you to keep your head a little stiller, a little more still. And that man right there, Joe Bava, knows what he's talking about with hitting mechanics. He's very, very good. Trevor looked right. A lot of times you can tell about a hitter just by the way he takes. Those takes that he had right there looked like a hitter taking a pitch. Looked like he saw him early and didn't even offer at him. He was in good position to hit if it had been a strike. You can tell a lot by just the way a guy takes a pitch sometimes, and that looks really good. That looks different for Trevor. I think things are starting to come around for him.
You know, hitters talk about seeing the ball well, and we naturally think about when they put the ball in play and hit it hard. But if you're seeing the ball well, you'll take walks, and so here tonight we've got one of each for Plouffe. Right,
and you're right. That's a great point there, because if you're seeing, you have to see the ball well to hit pitches that are over the plate and take pitches that you don't want to hit. And if you're not seeing the ball well, you'll miss the ones you should hit and swing at bad balls, and it makes a big difference, obviously.
Revere lifts it foul, 2 quick strikes on Revere. Thought this might be a possible bunting situation, but I guess not. Moustakas was in on the grass. Now he's back on the dirt.
One of the things I think Gardy, speaking of a bunting situation, it would normally be, I think, except for how fast Revere is. I think Gardy's going to take his chances that Revere will not hit into a double play. So give him a chance to swing the bat.
To the right side and through. Plouffe to second, and he'll hold up there. People don't run on Frank Brewer's arm very often. He has 99 major league assists. That's a bundle.
That's a lot. Normally right here on this ball, good swing by Ben, stays with it, hits the ball through the right side, and Trevor had to hold up there just a little bit. So once the ball went in front of him to right field with an arm as good as Frank Brewer's, no chance for him to go to third. If he could have made that ball be behind him, there might have been a chance to go to third, but with nobody out, not a good gamble. Stay on second here. Now you got a bunting situation with nobody out. It's a much better percentage play here.
And KCA bluffs a bunt, swings away. With both Moustakas and Hosmer pinching the corners, KCA gave it away early, but then pulled the bat back and took a pop.
And again, just like we saw Jamie Carroll try to bunt a ball that was too high, if you're going to do that, what Lexi just did there, that's not a bad play if the manager's giving the hit sign and you want to do a little fake there, but get a good ball to hit.
Otherwise, take it.
Otherwise, take it. You're no worse off.
So 1 strike to KCA.
Ted Williams, great line. You can't put a good swing on a bad ball.
That makes sense.
The only one that disagreed with that was Yogi Berra. And sometimes the puck.
If he could reach it. Breaking ball low, 1-1. KCA with 3 hits in the ball game Wednesday night. And Ron Gardenhire said again today that when the Twins are trying to mount that rally in the 9th inning, runners at second and third and 2 away, he really felt KCA was the perfect guy to have up there because he had success, and we all know KCA is a streaky hitter, but then he was hit by a pitch and he filled the bases, and then Denard Span struck out to end the game.
You know what's so funny about going through an offensive streak when you're not scoring a lot of runs, getting hits with runners in scoring position? There's a lot of bad luck involved too. Good hitters being walked or hit by a pitch or whatever.
Back to the mound, firing to second, and a double play. Tiford starts a 1-6-3 double play with Plouffe going to third. So a good start to this 4th inning, and again here we are where the Twins need a 2-out hit to get anything out of the inning.
Tough pitch to handle there, and Lex just not quite ready for it. You know, when you get the hit in this hit sign in this situation, you can't do that. And it's so easy to say. Hitting's so hard to do in the big leagues or at any level, but especially in the big leagues. But you have to learn, if the manager in a bunt situation is going to let you hit, you have got to be aggressive and pull the ball or hit the ball well behind the runner, but the ball cannot go in the middle of the diamond. You have to have the focus and the concentration not to hit it there. Anywhere else when the manager allows you to hit in a bunt situation, but not there.
Span with a walk and a single, trying to get the game tied up with Plouffe at third. Breaking ball hits the corner.
I would tell you that the fastest way to get you a whole bunch of bunt signs in a row coming up is to hit the ball up the middle into double play when you get the hit, when you do have a chance to hit. So you don't want to do that.
High and tight, 2-1. Span walked and scored in the first. Singled in the second.
Here's one of those situations I was talking about earlier where the leadoff hitter in the American League gets an awful lot of chances to drive in runs.
Because there's something at the bottom of the order.
Yeah, there's not a pitcher clogging up, you know, making automatic outs, you know, and so the hitting 1 through 9 is better in the American League for that reason. You have an extra. Normally, you know, your designated hitter is a real good hitter. It's not just somebody out there standing for the pitcher. It's a guy that can really hit. So a lot of base runners on down toward the bottom of the lineup, and it turns over for the leadoff hitter a lot.
That'll work. Base hit to left, and Span delivers a game-tying 2-out hit. Plouffe comes in, and it's a 4-4 game.
You know, that's such good hitting right there by Denard, because he was seeing that breaking ball and he pulled off of the one before. So hang in there, and just try to slap it to left, protecting against that breaking ball so he doesn't swing over the top of it again. Really good hitting.
Have you ever seen in a Twins uniform a hitter who's so still and quiet from his waist down as Denard Span? I mean, there's hardly any movement. There's no stride. You played with Kirby Puckett. Kirby's career turned around with an almost violent leg kick, and Span just kind of shifts his weight from the back leg to the front leg.
Yeah, it's a very, very solid mechanic for trying to be able to hit the ball all over the field and not swing and miss and not strike out. To answer your question directly,
Molitor.
Paul Molitor is the only. That's what I was going to say. Is the only guy that you know, comes even close. But Molly had a lot more power. But you see, Denard just picks up his front foot, barely puts it down, lets the ball get very deep in the strike zone, back over the plate, and just slaps it to left.
Span checked it first. The Twins have done no running at all against Tiford. They've seen him now with men on base quite a bit. They've timed him with 2 outs. You would think, wouldn't you? This
is the perfect scenario here. 2-out tie game. This is where Denard has to develop the confidence to be able to read a pitcher's move early on and then go ahead and steal the base in order to take his game to the next level. And the level where he is right now is awfully good. I think he could be a dominant player if he could be a 25 stolen base guy.
And there he goes. He got a good break. Pena's throw. In time to get him. They say tag him on the helmet before
you'll never see that call.
Span's feet hit the bag.
Wow.
The Twins tied up on Span's home run, but he's thrown out to end the inning.
Good call.
Denard Span tying the game with a 2-out hit. The Twins finally get a clutch hit to tie the game. On to the 5th now. And Carl Pavano is hoping to put a few more zeros up. The Royals got 2 in the first, 2 in the third. Here's the tag at second.
You know, I love this call by the umpire. I really do. Denard was out. The shortstop made a terrific play to get up and slap the tag on him before he got there. You hardly ever see that call. Usually, as soon as the runner is by the throw, the umpire makes up his mind that he's safe. That was a terrific call, actually, as much as I hated it from Larry Vandover, the umpire at second base. It really was. I mean, as a former shortstop who used to tag a lot of guys out that I thought deserved to be out just exactly like that and hardly ever get the call, you like seeing the guy actually stay with the whole play and say, what happened? Did he tag him first or not?
2-1 to Alcides Escobar, the shortstop. This one hit to right center field. And Plouffe is there to make the catch. 1 down. Here's our AT&T trivia question with a shot of Kevin Seitzer, the Royals hitting coach. Who are the 3 Royals to have 6 hits in a game? We're going to go with Kevin Seitzer. I'm going to say Willie Wilson because I believe he's on that list.
I think I remember when Willie got 6 hits.
And the easy answer would be George Brett, but I think it's Freddie Patek for some reason. So we're going to throw out a lot of former Royals.
Amos Otis, Hal McRae could have done it. Those guys could really hit. Well, we had to play those guys so much, and it seemed like they were hitting doubles all through the lineup, every guy up.
Gerard Dyson, the hitter, a bunt foul, now a ball outside. And here's a little Twins trivia. It was true a few years ago. I suspect it's still true. Only 2 guys have 2 6-hit games in their careers. And one of them is Kirby Puckett. The other one, I believe, is a guy by the name who might be in the Hall of Fame someday, Roger Doc Kramer. There's a fly to left, and the Twins will take that all series long if they can get Dyson to hit it in the air like that. 2 down. Alex Gordon will hit. Tomorrow, the Twins are home for a noon game against Kansas City, and XL Energy will be giving away an energy-efficient light bulb as fans leave Target Field. And some lucky fans will also win Twins season tickets, courtesy of XL Energy. Tickets are available for tomorrow's game. Call 800-33-TWINS or visit twinsbaseball.com. Ball 1 to Gordon, a long home run to right and a solid single to center. You must have had a 5-hit game, I'm thinking, in your career, didn't you?
I think I had a 5-hit game. I know I had several 4-hit games. It seems like you'd remember right away if you had 5, but I don't, to tell you the truth. Probably means I didn't have one.
And on the outside corner with Pavano needing to pitch Gordon very delicately here. 2 gone in the inning, and Gordon has eaten them up twice. Tommy Hatovi is the pitcher warming up with Tiford not stretched out, as they say, as a starting pitcher. He's given the Royals 4 innings and has kept them in the game, obviously. 3-1 with Butler on deck. And he walked him. So Butler will come up with a man aboard again here in the 3rd. Butler had a 2-0 count in the 3rd inning, and he crushed one to left for a 2-run home run.
Carl Pavano has not been real sharp, and the 2-run home runs have been on fastballs without much movement right in the middle of the plate. And he's really been struggling for the real good Carl Pavano.
Butler goes, and he steals second.
Gordon,
Gordon takes off.
Yep. And they're going to run on Carl. Carl's not real quick to the plate, but just to finish the thought, Carl's been battling without his real good command of his fastball right now. Usually you see him on the perimeters, the strike zone. There you see the jump. No chance for Joe, really.
Accurate throw by Doman, but not in time.
I'm sorry, Doman. Yeah, so used to saying Joe.
Yeah. So a runner at second, 2 down. The pitch called to strike to Butler. What's been impressive to me, and of course you and Ron Coomer can talk about mechanics and what a nice swing this guy has, but from a very early age he mastered the ability to hit to the opposite field. And the Twins have some hitters, right-handed hitters, who are still working on that. But it seemed like from his rookie season on, Butler picked up where Mike Sweeney left off with the ability to drive the ball to the gap in right center field, or in this case get a single through the hole to right.
Yeah, Coop and I talk about this kind of stuff all the time, and it is hitting mechanics. His ability to hit the ball to right field is mechanics. And Coop, you know, when you come up able to hit the ball with power to right center, your hands are inside the ball all the time, almost by design.
Well, it is, and the other thing that allows you to do is see pitches so much longer when you know you can drive it to right center field. And this guy right here, you know, I mean, this has been his whole career, as you said, Dick, right there.
Just dropped a little fly ball into short right center, and the Royals, with the walk and the stolen base, get a 2-out hit of their own to retake the lead. 3 runs batted in for Butler.
Yeah, terrific hitter. If you watch him here, watch how square he stays in the line of flight of the ball, and his hands are inside. See, they stay inside the line of flight of the ball, which means he doesn't try to hook the ball. That's why he can have so much extension to right center and right field, hit the ball that long that direction.
Outside, ball 1 to Hosmer.
Roy, don't you think too, and Dick, that when a guy can do that, and you know, you get 2 outs and a runner in scoring position, when you can hit that ball the other way, you're just going to be an RBI machine. And that's one of the things our young hitters need to learn, is to be able to hit that ball the other way with runners in scoring position.
No question.
Towering fly ball to left. Revere with the catch. The inning ends, but a 2-out walk comes back to haunt Carl Pavano.
Lead 5-4. We are in the Minnesota State Lottery winner's circle. $100 in scratch-off tickets to the birthday boy Andrew here. He's not only a grandpa, he's a great grandpa. He's celebrating his birthday, and guess what? $100 in scratch-off tickets, and it's your very first time to Target Field. Andrew, first off, happy birthday, and you are now hereby circled. What is your favorite part of the experience so far at Target Field?
Whole atmosphere. It's kind of overwhelming. I was in a wheelchair for a couple of years, so I couldn't come. It is really great.
It is really great. It's always more fun when you win, too. So congratulations on the scratch-off tickets. He's got his grandson and his great-grandson, and all they're waiting for now, guys, is a birthday win.
Well, that sounds good. Twins find themselves behind again. By the way, just 343 days left till Bert's birthday. Figured that out.
I thought he must have texted you that, just to remind you, just to make sure that everybody knew.
Tommy Hatavi warming up and now entering the game, delivering ball 1. Carroll's had a couple of frustrating at bats. He tried to bunt in the first inning after Denard Span's walk and bunted it in the air to Hosmer. And then with runners at first and second and 2 down, looking for a base hit, hit a fly ball to center. Now at the knees, 1-1.
You know, I got to tell you, this young man, left-hander coming from the side and a little bit underneath, it was bad enough to look at Kent Colby and Dan Quisenberry, you know, right-handed submariners, but seeing a left-hander, that just looks weird.
Bounce to third, easy play for Moustakas. 1 down. That'll bring up Mauer, who's got a couple of extra base hits already. If you're hitting the road, you can take the Twins with you. Subscribe to MLB.tv and see every Twins out-of-market game live online and on your favorite devices in HD quality. Visit twinsbaseball.com to order. Get more details. MLB.tv. Baseball everywhere. Home territory blackout restrictions apply. An RBI triple and a run scored in the first, and then a leadoff double, but he died at second base back in the third. At the knees, a strike. And at the knees again. It's 0-2.
One of the toughest things about hitting a guy, maybe the toughest thing, is picking up a release point from down. If you watch down from where he releases that ball, that is so different from anything else that as a hitter you're used to seeing. Otavi will kind of lean toward first a little bit, dip his front shoulder, and then his release point, meaning where his hand, where the hitter picks up the ball, is going to be way down below his waist on the left-hand side. You really see that so rarely. It's the biggest battle is let me find where it is. Now here's knee, elbow, shoulder. He comes around and it's way down there and to the side. Usually it's right off his shoulder next to his ear or somewhere around there, a pitcher. But this guy is a long way from the normal frame where you're looking to pick the ball up.
1-2 to Mauer. Mauer, of course, Twin Cities native, and Otavi, a Kansas City native. Pitched in 8 games for the Red Sox last year, signed by the Royals as a minor league free agent in the fall. Dropped down sidearm a few years ago. High fastball got him, 2 down. That'll bring up Morneau.
And there was a sneaky fastball at a different eye angle for Joe. See, he's been low, and then all of a sudden kind of an upshoot. He throws from, Joe looks at him and says, what the heck was that?
Yeah, Roy, you said that's a tough at bat. With his windup too, he really hides the ball well because of his leg kick. And, you know, Joe kind of spread out just trying to see the ball and have a little less movement. But, you know, this guy's throwing the ball hard. That upshoot fastball, that's almost impossible with everything else going down.
It's really true, Chrome. That's exactly right. Joe saw every pitch down until that last one. Totally changed his eye angle. He's got to look like he's throwing right at you, Cool.
Say that again?
He's got to look like he's throwing right at you. He's stepping right at you.
It is weird. And, you know, the other thing, too, is his motion. Usually most sidearmers' motion is kind of slower and deliberate. This guy's motion is quick, too.
Try to pick up the ball. Where is it? If you're the hitter watching at home, just think about this. Whether it's a left-hander or a right-hander, he goes into his windup, and at some point in time, you see the ball come up between his ear and his shoulder or right off of his shoulder.
You know what the lefties are doing right now? Come on, righties.
Yeah, come on.
Get them out of there.
Absolutely.
1-2 to Morneau.
Again, you're the hitter. Where's that ball going to come from? Way down there. That's just different. You got to really discipline yourself to. It's not easy when a pitcher's coming into his delivery like that to look way out to the side. You really have to discipline yourself to look low and to the side and not up where you're used to.
Pena sets up, down and away. High chopper hits the glove of the pitcher. Escobar turns and fires. Got him. What a play. The pitcher deflected it, and Escobar, 30 feet on the other side of second base, makes the play to retire Morneau.
On the Twins for the second game of the series Saturday at 12 p.m. It will be a bit of a cloudy game and breezy. Winds picking up to about 10 to 20 miles per hour. There is going to be a chance of a little rain and drizzle, and it will be cooler. Our first pitch, 42 degrees.
A little cool tomorrow. Welcome back to Friday Night Baseball tonight, presented by Kawasaki Terex, ATV on Fox Sports North. Jeff Francoeur, first pitch, grounded to Valencia. One down quickly here in the sixth. Bring up Mike Moustakas, who's popped up twice. Rain continues to lightly fall here tonight. 3 Royals to have 6 hits in a game. We think Kevin Seitzer's one. We think Willie Wilson is one. And we think George Brett, Amos Otis. We didn't mention Bob Oliver or Joe Randa. But we got one right. And as you know, Roy, we have very liberal correct answer rulings here. If we get one right.
Yeah, I've followed how you score yourselves, and I'm in total agreement, at least while I'm here with you.
I'd be the most popular school teacher in the world if I were grading test papers.
It's one right, all right.
That's right, exactly. 1-1 to Moustakas. Moustakas last year didn't hit much in his rookie season, but he's off to a better start than some of the other Royals players. There's a fly ball to left. Revere running towards the line with the catch out number 2.
Moustakas is a very good hitter. He's popped 3 balls up tonight. He's a little off tonight against Carl Pavano, but this young man's going to be a good hitter too. I really like the nucleus of this Kansas City Royal Ball Club. They're going to score a lot of runs for a lot of years. We mentioned how young they are. They're all very talented hitters. And the reason for the optimism in Kansas City was because they really felt like they had one of the best bullpens in the American League as well. Young, hard-throwing guys from both the left and right side. But starting out the season, the bullpen's 0-6. The bullpen has kind of given it up.
Just off the plate to Betancourt. You know, Hosmer's very talented. The sky is his ceiling in terms of what he can do and how big of a star he can be for the Royals. Now back just to our left. And Butler's been a consistent run producer. Moustakas, they think, is going to be very good. Two things that really broke right for the Royals last year. Getting Escobar, who Ned Yost thinks is a Gold Glove caliber shortstop that will anchor that position for them for years. Here's a liner to left. Revere retreating. And then the transition from Gordon to infield to outfield, and how well he adapted to that. A quick 8-pitch 1-2-3-6. In the Coors Light 6th inning, showing you why Alex Gordon won the Gold Glove last year.
Terrific catch, got back to the wall, timed his jump, made an athletic leap over the fence, robbed Danny Valencia. Terrific play.
DeFrost brewed Coors Light for Eastham. Well, the Twins down a run, and Danny Valencia, who had a home run taken away by Gordon. Ryan Domet will lead off. Valencia will hit second, and then Trevor Plouffe. Domet had a tough day against the other left-hander. See how he fares against this one. A tapper up the line, 2 strikes.
Dick, you were making a terrific point as we finished the last inning. 2 big changes, plus changes for the Royals. Escobar at shortstop, who I agree with Ned Yost. I think he's going to be one of the real great defensive shortstops in the league. And then Alex Gordon being able to adjust and play left field as well as he's played it, well enough to win a Gold Glove, even had he not won a Gold Glove, just to go out there and play it adequately so that he can relax and swing the bat the way he's capable of doing. But he's become a good defensive outfielder. They have a great defensive shortstop, and Alex Gordon can really swing the bat. So all in all, just all pluses.
Broke around the plate. Close pitch, 2-2.
And we've seen those two guys make terrific defensive plays tonight. Here's a big slur from the side armor. Broke around the plate.
This one poked down the right field line. That might stay fair. Stays in the ballpark. Domet has at least 2. He'll hold up there with a leadoff double. We've seen that right field corner be particularly tricky this year. That time Francoeur played it cleanly and held Domet to a double.
Another good start for the Twins here, and good hitting by Domet. Ball outside, reaches out, gets the big end of the bat, pokes it down in the corner. And the Twins have their leadoff runner on second base. Again, nobody out. Now this is where Gardy's really going to be looking to see how the Twins react. You've got to get this run in, especially when you're scuffing a little bit, driving runs in. Love to see Danny drive it in, but at the very least, if there's an out made, Domet has to be on third base right here for Ron Gardner.
Domet at second, nobody out. And strike on the inside corner. Now the Twins got a leadoff double in the third, and Mauer never budged from second base. They had runners at first and second, nobody out in the fourth, and needed a 2-out hit from Span to score a run in that situation.
Danny's got to really work at hitting the ball to the right side right now.
Driven to center.
That'll do it.
Dolman setting up for a tag, and he'll advance to third. And Valencia, with a solid stroke to center field, is retired, but he got Dolman up a base.
Yes, good at bat, good swing by Danny. He's trying to hit the ball from the center of the diamond around to right, and he really nailed it. If that ball's in the gap, both guys running for a long time, but that's it. That's what you want to do. I want to have as good a bat, hit it as hard as I can, but it's got to be directed at center or right around to right. At the very least, that guy's got to end up on third base. Now it's up to Trevor to get him in. And here's the situational hitting that Ron Coomer was talking about earlier. You don't need a base hit here. You need a ball to the outfield.
And the Royals have drawn their infield in here now. You know, I couldn't help but notice when the Royals took their 5-4 lead, they got a 2-out walk, a stolen base. Butler didn't hit the ball well. He just dumped it into center field. But he clapped his hands together like that was an important run.
Yes.
Just because of how they got it. They got a clutch hit. They took a walk, turned it into an extra base with a stolen base, and now Plouffe skies it to short center. And Escobar on the dirt makes the catch, and Plouffe will leave it all up to Ben Revere to try to get Dolman in from third.
When Ron Coomer was talking about situational hitting, it's what you do to get a pitch that you know that you can drive to the outfield with a runner on third base. And it's not just that ball is a strike, and you can swing at that ball and put it in play, but it may not have been the very best pitch for you to do what you're trying to do. In batting practice, I heard Tom Kelly talk about the batting practice regimen that the players go through, saying, okay, there's a runner on third, I'm going to try to get him in. And what the most important part there is get a pitch where you can do it.
Revere takes ball one wide. Revere singled to right his last time up. Down and in, a ball.
If Ben Revere can hit a line drive up the middle, he might get an inside the park. What will look like a single could be a home run. When you look at where Dice is playing Ben Revere in left center.
2 nights ago, he drove a ball hard right where Dice is standing. Yep. If he can hook one just a little bit to right center instead of left field, you're right, he's going to run a lap.
If he whistled the ball by the umpire, right by the umpire, he's going to run as hard as he wants to.
3-1 with KCA on deck. Walk puts Revere aboard, and KCA has a chance to make amends for his 4th inning at bat.
Here's a pitch to Revere. It could have been called a strike. It's a good take by Ben. He doesn't think that he can drive the run in on that pitch. It's a pitcher's pitch. 3-1. Just take that. You got a better chance on the next pitch, and he can't throw it in too tough a spot 2 times in a row. So 3-1 when you're in. When you're in the hitter's count, get the ball you want or let it go and go to the next pitch. In that case, the umpire called the ball. We got speed at first base now and a runner in scoring position at third.
Slap to right, but foul. KCA came up after Plouffe had walked. Revere had singled first and second, nobody out. And rather than having KCA bunt, the Twins had him swing away, or he decided to swing away, ended up hitting one back to the mound for a double play. Span picked up KCA with a 2-out single, and the Twins tied the game at 4. Now KCA trying to tie the game up with a base hit of his own.
Try to pick up his teammate Trevor Plouffe here too. Same way he got picked up by Bernard.
Line to left, a base hit. KCA gets the 2-out hit. It runs to the wall. Revere is flying around third, and they slam on the brakes. Revere was going as fast as I've seen a guy run between second and third, and Steve Little. Sometimes runners have to run through a stop sign. Revere would have had to have run through Steve Little. There was no way he was going to be asked to get home.
Good swing by Lexi. Gets a breaking ball. Here's that aggressive swing that we would have preferred to see the last time up. He whips it in the corner. Now, with 2 out, I think on any other shortstop, we're not going to see the throw that Escobar made. I think Steve Little, you know, when you're a third base coach, you have to know how the outfielders throw, and you have to know the arms of the relay guys. And in this case, the relay man was Escobar, the shortstop, who can flat gun it from shortstop. And when Steve Little saw that the throw coming in from left field was going to be one that Escobar could handle well, and he knew that arm, that cannon that's hanging off the right shoulder of Escobar, and he decided to hold Ben Revere. As well as Revere runs, I thought with 2 out, it'd be a good gamble to go ahead and wave him in. I really did. But then when you saw Escobar gun that ball, he would have been out. It was he's got a great arm, and I know that Steve Little knows that about the shortstop.
He also knows that Span is 2 for 2 with a walk. He stands in there now with a chance to put the Twins in front. Strike 1. Span walked and scored in the first, singled in the second, and then gave the Twins a 2-out hit to tie the game in the fourth. Now KCA has doubled to tie the game at 5. Strike 2, and I don't know whether third base coaches think about such things, but Span knows full well how good Brian Pena can be at blocking the plate. Last year in Kansas City, Span hit a ball in the gap, thought he had an inside the park home run, and he ran into Pena, and that was the beginning of the end of Span's season.
Right. I think the big thing is 2 outs. It's a good gamble, but you can't be thrown out by a lot, even if it's a good gamble. Right?
Well, Span strikes out. The Twins get a walk and a pair of doubles to tie the game. Story of the game, 10 runs on the board.
Lots of hitting in the first inning. The Royals get off first with a 2-run home run by Alex Gordon. The Twins come right back in the bottom of the first. Joe Mauer triples and then got driven in by Morneau. Trevor Plouffe with a home run right down the left field line, but then the Royals come back and hit it. Billy Butler, 2-run home run, 4-3. Bernard Span with a big 2-out hit to tie the score, 4-4, but then Billy Butler comes right back, drives in the 5th run. It's 5-4 Kansas City until last inning. Alexi KCA hits a double to tie the score, and that's where we are after 6. It's 5-5.
Brian Pena will lead things off against Carl Pavano. First pitch up and away, ball 1. Pena, Escobar, and Dyson. Not only do the Royals have the youngest roster, they also have the smallest payroll in the major leagues, about $35 million. 2-0. They've not had a winning season. They've had one in 19 years. Ed Yost, the manager now, is second full season. Royals used to be perennial playoff entrants. They ran into the wall that was the New York Yankees back then. Pena, something in his eye, might have a contact lens issue. Well, the Royals have not been in the playoffs since they won the World Series in 1985. And in that time, being mindful that the Twins have had, in essence, two managers. Ray Miller, technically a manager in 85 and into 86. The Royals have had 13 different managers since 1985. And so the Royals this year, lay an egg in their first homestand, go 0-10. There are already people that were calling for Ned Yost's firing, and Dayton Moore, I think, realizes, a lot has to go wrong before he wants to change managers, because they've done plenty of that in recent years with the Royals, and that was never the answer.
Well, that didn't work. Just changing the manager, and for the most part, the managers aren't going to make enough of a difference when you haven't been there for 27 years or whatever. That's players and continuity in the or lack of players and continuity in the system, and you certainly don't address the continuity in the system issue by changing managers 13 times.
They brought managers in from outside the organization. They brought Ned Yost into the organization for a while before he took over the managerial job. 2-1 to Pena. Slap to left. Revere running toward the line, makes the catch, one away. One down. Escobar to the plate. Time now for the Century Link high-speed pitch. Tiford probably out dueling Pavano, yes, by 4 miles per hour. If Pavano could rear back and throw it 94, 95 like he could 10, 12 years ago, that would be one thing. He can't. He knows that. And as a result, he's had to become more of a finesse pitcher. You can't wish for something that's no longer there. But if Pavano's going to have success this year and in future years, he has to make the change that eventually all pitchers have to go through, with the exception of Nolan Ryan.
The last pitch was a perfect example of why Carl's struggling tonight. Nolan wanted the ball inside. He patted his inside leg. Carl threw about out over the plate. He just doesn't quite have the command of his fastball and what command that he normally has. And what command of your fastball means is, I want to throw it on the inside part of the plate, and that's where I throw it. I want to throw it on the outside part of the plate, and that's where I throw it. Tonight, Carl's been in the middle of the plate a lot.
Doink down the right field line. Escobar runs well. He'll have at least a double. And Plouffe gets it back in quickly. It's a one-out, a double down the right field line.
So what happens when a pitcher has his command? It sets up everything else that he wants to do. You see it here. That's just a doink. I mean, this is a good pitch. Escobar not in good position to hit. It's just one of those things that happens every once in a while when a guy with some ability sticks the bat out there. The ball finds a hole.
Pavano will come out of the game with 83 pitches, which might be another indication that he just didn't feel well. Brian Dunsing will pitch next. field. It's Bat Day, presented by Old Dutch Foods. The first 5,000 fans 14 and under will get the real wood bat featuring Ben Revere's facsimile signature. Tickets are available for Sunday's game, and you can check out the pricing right now by logging on to twinsbaseball.com. Carl Pavano got the Twins into but not through the 7th inning.
And it was a battle for him, and it just goes to show you what kind of leader he is, what kind of makeup he has. He did not have his good stuff tonight. He could not locate the fastball where he wanted to, but he battled and battled and kept his team in the game. Here we are in the 7th inning. Not only kept his team in the game, but gets guarded to a point, in the game where he can set up his bullpen the way he wants to and not overuse it. Brian Dunsing coming on to get these two left-handers, Dyson and Gordon, and this is Dunsing's job right here as a left-hander. You got to get these two left-handers out.
If you're keeping score at home, well, whether you are or you aren't, the first 3 hitters have done almost all the damage against Carl Pavano. Dyson reached on an error and scored. Gordon has driven in 2 and scored 3. Butler has driven in 3 and scored 1. Chopper over the mound. Carroll's got to hurry. 2 down. And Escobar moves up to 3rd. Pavano cruised from Hosmer through Escobar. He did great, giving up just a couple of, so far, meaningless hits. But this guy, Gordon, has given him trouble here, not just tonight, but in his career. So the Twins are hoping Dunsing can get him out. Gordon with a home run in the 1st inning. Now with 4 home runs against Pavano. Well, at the time, in 29 at bats. Down and away, ball 1.
And this is tough duty. I mean, you got Gordon and Butler right after that, right after Gordon. But as good as Gordon is, this is the matchup that the manager works to get, and he wants Dunsing to get this guy out right here and not have to pitch to Butler.
And a breaking ball away, 2-0.
2 good pitches, but good takes by Gordon. You'll see a lot of left-handers offer at those 2 pitches right there. By taking them, it gets him in a good hitter's count. Now Dunsing's got to work cut out for him.
2-0. One Cornhusker against another. Went to college together, played together for Nebraska. They were
good pitch here by Dunsing. 2-0. Didn't come right in there. Got right on the outside corner. That's good pitching. You can't throw it where you want to all the time, but he sure did there. 2-0. That's a perfect pitch.
2-1. 3-1. So Gordon, 4 hits in 19 at bats, 4 singles. A lot of strikeouts for Dunsing in this matchup. They were in each other's weddings, stay in touch with each other during the offseason, and now a big matchup in late April. And he walked them. So with 2 outs, now runners at 1st and 3rd. And Gordon's reached all 4 times here tonight.
3-1 pitch. Doesn't want to come in with a fastball. Tries a little cutter, a little hard slider. Just can't get it over.
Big spot here for the Twins bullpen. In losing all 3 games to the Red Sox, the bullpen actually did a very good job. And now with this game now tied, Twins hope that the bullpen will continue to pitch well, starting with Dunsing. Slow breaking ball, snaps over for strike 1.
Good pitch there. Tougher duty when you didn't get the left-hander out. Now you got a pitch to Billy Butler right here. Great pitch to start a guy out with. A little backdoor curveball that clips the outside part of the plate. But this guy right here, Billy Butler, not only good hitter, but really good against left-handed pitching.
Chopper to short. Carroll sets
Good
and
job by
fires,
Dunsing.
and Dunsing gets the last 2 outs of the 7th inning. We're still tied. freshly brewed cup of premium roast coffee from McDonald's. Any size is just $1. And by AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T. Rethink possible. Tied at 5, home half of the 7th. Twins hope to win one in the late innings. Carl Pavano and Rick Anderson talking it over in the dugout. Pavano taken out with 83 pitches, which was a little light for him. But I think it was who he was going to face with the game tied as much as anything that might be pitch count related.
It wasn't pitch count related. It was Rick Anderson and Ron Gardenhire recognizing that Carl didn't have his best stuff, and those guys that he was going to be facing with the game on the line had hit him pretty well up until that point. So no sense asking him to try and get him again. Go to the left-hander, and Brian Dunson did a good job. Now Jamie Carroll, let's get something started here in the bottom of the 7th.
Where the Royals keep getting all these left-handers? Well, they got this one from the Twins. Jose Maharis signed as a free agent. Of course, spent the last few years with the Twins. He's done a nice job. The Royals snapping him up on the market. And Carroll with a 2-0 count.
Maharis got a lot of talent, especially since he throws with that left arm. But ball 2 is a kind of been his MO. Here's ball 3. We've seen plenty of that, and it was really frustrating for the Twins and for all of us to watch a guy with this kind of arm and this kind of ability go ball 1, ball 2, and in many cases just like this, ball 3 all the time. You can't pitch that way.
A strike called, and we saw it earlier years ago from J.C. Romero.
Right.
The problem really was highlighted or magnified against right-handed batters. Romero and Maharis too much better against lefties than right-handers in terms of strike throwing. And now he comes back with a pair to even fill the count at 3-2.
Here's a veteran hitter up there. Jamie Carroll, been around a long time, understands the game. The game's tied. It's late in the game. Got a guy out there on the mound that doesn't throw an awful lot of strikes. He's thrown 3 balls in a row. Now make him throw 3 strikes in a row. So he took strike 1 and strike 2, and now gets the same 3-1 pitch. That's good. That's a great at bat. It's not just because he got a hit, but it's because of how he did it. He's got a real good chance of being walked there, but got a good pitch to hit and got a base hit to get the winning run to first base.
Tomorrow, NASCAR on Fox heads under the lights in Richmond as defending champion Kyle Busch leads the world's best drivers in a chase for the checkered flag. Fox Sports is proud to bring you exclusive coverage of the Sprint Cup Series racing live from the Richmond International Raceway tomorrow at 6 p.m. Central. Mauer at the plate. He's got a triple and a double. He struck out in the 5th. Strike 1. And Maharis, as we saw so often, gets ahead of the left-handed batters right away.
It's clear that Jose Maharis feels more comfortable getting left-handers out than he does right-handers. And when you're comfortable, you tend to do things the right way. And when you're not comfortable, you tend to struggle.
Shaves the outside corner to get ahead of Mauer 0-2.
So you look at that and you say, okay, so if he could do that, you know,
more of the same this year.
Yeah, right. I mean, why does he? The reason right-handers are hitting .313 against him is because they're hitting 2-0 all the time.
And a breaking ball gets away from Maharis. Mauer hit, I think, around the shoulder blades. And Maharis looking distraught off in the distance. It's the last thing he wanted to do.
Right.
He and Joe spent a lot of time talking to each other before the game today. And Maharis now has really gotten himself in a mess.
Well, you're right. He certainly didn't want to hit Joe in that situation. And it was a breaking ball. If he was going to come inside, he wasn't going to throw a breaking ball in there. That was just so far off where he was trying to throw it. I guarantee you he was trying to throw a slider down and away, and he threw it up and in. That was not even close to where he wanted.
Finally, a right-hander, Lewis Coleman, warming up with Morneau at the plate. 1 for 3 on the day. Big swing and a miss. Strike 1. Morneau drove in a run with a single in the 2nd. Plastered one to center, caught by Dyson. And then he hit one high hopper off the glove of the pitcher, and Escobar retired him on a nice play in the 5th.
Ball just a little bit higher than Justin likes for the most part. he can hit that pitch up there. He's a little bit better with the ball down a little bit.
And a strike. Now 0-2 to Morneau. He got ahead of Mauer, plunked him. And now Morneau has to hit out of an 0-2 hole with switch hitter Ryan Doumit on deck. Another first and second, nobody out situation. Fouled back as he challenged Morneau upstairs.
Trying to go up the ladder just a little bit. If you'll, if he got him swinging at a high pitch, the first pitch. Maybe with 2 strikes, you can throw it even a little bit higher and get him to chase. Justin able to foul that ball off. Justin's gotten that breaking ball in the back of his mind too, so he's not as aggressively trying to pull it. He's trying to watch the ball a long time, protect against that breaking ball. Right
down
there.
and away, 1-2.
This is where a good left-hand hitter like Justin has got to be able to give up the inside, just fight off the inside fastball as best he can, and hit the ball the other way so that he stays in there on that breaking ball. Because if you're looking for a fastball from the middle end to try and pull, you're very vulnerable to that breaking ball we just saw right there. That's why you see a lot of left-handers swing over the top, swing at what looks like a bad pitch, because they're anxious to hit the first thing they see to their pull field. It turns out not to be a fastball. Justin battling to stay in the middle of the diamond, protect against all pitches.
Popped up wide of third and into the seats. So Harris gives up a base hit, a hit batter. And Ned Yost, hoping he can get Morneau, very likely will leave him in to face Doumit, the switch hitter. Flipped foul.
There's the pitch we're talking about right there, that slider down. If he's trying to pull the ball, he swings and misses that ball. This is a good, tough battle by Justin. Stay in, stay in, stay in, fight it off. Good job.
Poke to center. Dyson makes a sliding catch. Just a little too much hang time on a little flare to center for the first out.
Good at bat by Justin. Just exactly what we were saying. He's fighting it off, hitting the ball the other way, and the ball just hung up. Dyson with that speed, able to come and get it. Here's that slider. Fight it off as best you can, and he just got under it just enough where the ball floated a little bit, and speed can make up for a lot of things.
But Dyson, he kind of sort of looked it into his glove, but he was looking up to see where the runners were. Here's Doumit taking a strike. Doumit bounced into a double play in the first, struck out in the third, and then started the 6th inning with a double into the right field corner. He ended up scoring the tying run, the run that tied the game at 5.
Doumit, switch hitter, a little bit better so far right-handed this season than left. I wouldn't have been surprised if Ned Yost had brought the right-hander in.
Strike 2. Doumit's had, although he got a double in the 6th, he kind of fought off a pitch and hit it to the right field corner. The starter Everett Tieford kind of had him eating out of his hand in his first 2 at bats. Breaking ball up and away. One and 2 to Ryan Doumit. To right center field. Francoeur traps it, I believe. They're calling it out, and they're going to make it a double play. A delayed call by Brian Gorman. And we could see it from up here that the ball was trapped. An inning-ending double play that will draw an argument from Ron Gardenhire. And Francoeur, we could see it from up here. He didn't catch the ball. We've seen the Kansas City Royals outfield defense make some great plays, and this is actually in right field a closer play than I thought. From up here, I thought I saw the ball bounce up.
Well, if you watch right here, it looks like he might have gotten that against the thumb of his glove, but right as the glove turns over, right there, that's a trap. That's what I think the umpire should have been looking at. He might have gotten a lot of the ball in his glove. If you look here, there's a lot of ball against the thumb of his glove right there, but when the glove turns over, the ground is keeping that ball in his glove, and that's a trap. See, that's a terrific play, but as soon as the glove turns over, I think you've got to call that a trap.
At any rate, another great scoring chance for the Twins and nothing to show for it. Eric Hosmer facing Brian Dunsing. So we saw Gordon take a home run away from Valencia. We saw a nice little running play. Dyson with his speed getting it out where a lot of center fielders wouldn't have on Morneau's little fly ball in front of Domit's ball just off the plate. And it's 3-0 to Hosmer. And then Francoeur got close enough to it, if he didn't make the catch, to convince the umpire that he did.
Yeah, you bet. In real speed, you can see why that's such a tough play to call. You can't really be on the umpire too badly because he doesn't get the benefit of that great slow motion camera work that we got where we could call that a trap. That was a terrific play.
3-1 to Hosmer. To center. Span back. And now over and in. One down. The wind playing some tricks with that. It is blowing almost directly in from center field, so anything hit high over the seating area is going to get knocked down by the wind.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Minnesota Twins and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Minnesota Twins, LLC.
Here's Jeff Francoeur, nicely read, by the way.
Well, thank you, Richard.
Ball one. Roy Smalley will be sitting in the broadcast chair through this series and through the next road trip, and then Bert Blyleven will rejoin the Twins TV crew in the next homestand. Lifted foul and out of play, 1-1.
You were talking about the wind just a second ago. I was talking to Jerry White, who Minnesota Twins coach Jerry White, outfield out coach and base running coach, but he was a terrific outfielder when he played mostly for the Montreal Expos, and he said he's taking fly balls out there in the outfield.
Dunsing's mid-90s fastball gets a swing and a miss.
And he said that the ball does funny things when it gets out there in the gap, and especially especially in right center. He said the ball gets out and wiggles all over the place. It does some funny things.
See the wind blowing in from center, and at times it looks like it's blowing out towards right. There's a ball blasted to the gap in left center field. And high off the wall. Frank Coeur digs for second. He's got a double, and the Twins caught a break because that ball was a screaming drive to one of the deepest parts of the park.
That ball was scalded, and there's no heavy air or raindrops or anything else that was going to hold that ball back much. Although it hit the top of the fence, maybe if the air were lighter, it hits the back of the bullpen wall. But that ball was killed. Big, strong guy, Jeff Francoeur, unloads. That's what you call centering up.
Missing by inches from going out of the ballpark. So here's Moustakas, who's hit the ball in the air 3 times for outs. Dunsing needs to pay Francoeur some attention here, and Carroll trying to hold him as close to second as he can. Down and away, ball 1.
The Royals are a much better hitting team against right-handed pitching than they are left-handed pitching. Dunsing with a slight advantage here. Francoeur good against left-handed pitching, but he's been through the lineup with a lot of lefties he's seen.
Inside.
But you can't make them better by going 2-0. They did that with the first hitter and got away with it. Now he's got to come back and get Moustakas.
2-0. The Royals' third baseman. To center. A base hit. Francoeur will charge. Span has to spin around, and the Royals take the lead on Moustakas' line drive to center.
Moustakas, we saw one of the few left-handed hitters on the Royal Ball Club that really swing pretty well against lefties. Gets a 2-0 fastball and gets it up in the zone. Saw 2 pitches for balls, and then pretty good idea what the fastball does. Got it up in the zone, is able to line it center. That's good hitting actually by Moustakas. Not a good pitch by Brian Dunsing, but good hit by Moustakas.
Royals up 6-5, and Jeff Gray will pitch next for the Twins. For complete and comprehensive coverage of Day 2 of the NFL Draft. The Royals take the lead here in the 8th, getting a run against Brian Dunsing. And now Jeff Gray will come in to try to get Yuniesky Betancourt. Dunsing got the Twins out of a predicament in the 7th, stranding out Escobar, the go-ahead runner in that inning, at third base. They got Hosmer, and then Francoeur doubled. Moustakas with the RBI single, and Jeff Gray will try to get the Twins off the field down by a run.
Pitching and hitting, and competition between the pitcher and hitter is such a fun and interesting thing to watch. You can't throw the ball where you want to. Everybody says you got to keep the ball out in the middle of the zone. Pitchers try not to throw it in the middle there. Hitters are always saying you got to get the ball, good pitch to hit, but you don't always hit the pitch when you get it. But for the most part, if you throw the ball in the middle of the zone, major league hitters are going to hit it enough times to get you in trouble. And so it's always a battle to see who's going to come out on top. If the pitcher can throw the ball on the perimeters of the zone, he's going to have the most success. If he throws it in the middle of the zone, the hitters are going to get it.
Down and away. 1-1. Bettencourt was a shortstop for the Royals at one point. Coming back to them as a utility player, getting some time at second base. Moustakas was extending his lead at least from first toward second, with Gray throwing over there. Royals used a stolen base to take the lead in the 5th inning. Gordon stole second after his walk. Scooped up by Domit, 2-1. See the all-star patch on the right shoulders of the Kansas City uniforms. The remodeled Kauffman Stadium hosting the all-star game this year.
2-1 count to Bettencourt. This is kind of the classic hit and run count. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. And the reason for that is you want to stay out of the double play, so you're going to do it with less than 2 out. With nobody out, you can tend to give your guys a chance to hit. With 1 out, 2-1, they're not going to pitch out.
Popped up and back into the seats. 2-2. Figure the pitcher's going to really want to throw a strike, right?
2-1. If you figure you're going to get something that the hitter can put in play, it is just. It is the classic hit and run count. Manager Ned Yost deciding not to for whatever reason. And usually the reason is doesn't really trust the hitter to be able to put the ball in play in a proper direction.
Check swing and a foul. One of the reasons might be Bettencourt's unwillingness to walk, which would suggest he doesn't have the greatest plate discipline. Last year, 556 at bats and 16 walks. Drawn 120 walks and almost 3,500 plate appearances. He rips one foul, hooking foul.
It has most to do with a player's propensity to swing and miss. That's the number one sin in a hit and run play. You must make contact with the ball because you're protecting the runner. In a hit and run play, the runner's not really stealing. He's getting started early after the pitcher goes to the plate, but he's not worried about getting a good jump. He's just getting started early.
2-2 to Bettencourt, and now a full count. We'll see if Moustakas leaves early here with 1 out.
Yeah, I can't believe that he would not let him go here. 3-2. But again, what you're suggesting, Dick, is that he will not take a walk. He's going to swing at this ball regardless of where it is. But you would think that he would have the confidence that Bettencourt could put it in play.
He stays put, and the pitch fouled back to the net.
He does not have the confidence that Bettencourt could put it in play.
So some 2-strike fouls by Bettencourt, keeping his plate appearance alive. There goes the runner. And the pitch, a check swing. No swing. It'll be a walk. Advancing Moustakas to second base. A check swing. They immediately appealed to Brian Gorman. Of course, Doman had to throw anyway. But it's a walk that advances Moustakas up a base. Ron Gardenhire not happy with that sequence of events either. Yeah, he held. He checked.
Hands went, but not the big end of the bat. And the rule actually is where the big end of the bat goes. And he did a pretty good job there for a guy that you refuse to think is going to walk.
Here's Brian Pena. Now runners at first and second. Still only one out. 3 straight Royals have reached here. Taking a low, ball 1. Gray's biggest issue this year and throughout his career has been throwing strikes. And he walked Betancourt to make this an even dicier situation. Gray on the year, 9 1/3 innings, and now 8 walks. There's a strike on the outside corner.
The walks and the lack of control really do hurt him because he's got good stuff. Throws the ball 92, 93. He's hit 94 that I've seen in the past. He's got a good hard slider. I think hitters have to think he's pretty nasty, but walking guys or getting behind guys will even it up quite a bit.
Doman has to shift to his left to make the scoop. 2-1. Saw Matt Maloney, a left-hander, warming up. Behind Pena is Escobar, and then some more lefties coming up, Dyson and Gordon. To left center field, Revere with the catch on number 2. That'll bring up Escobar. Oakland has cooled off Baltimore, beating the Orioles in Baltimore 5-2. Angels removed Jordan Walden as their closer. They got more bullpen issues. The bullpen took the loss as Cleveland beat the Angels 3-2. This game has gone back and forth with the Royals leading most of the way now. Up and in, ball 1. The challenge the Royals had with Escobar, they knew he was a slick fielder and would turn just about anything hit to the left side. We saw tonight even some balls hit on the right side into outs. Whether he could hit, and there have been some signs of progress there too. Breaking ball over for a strike.
He's shown some real signs of starting to get things together as a hitter. If he ever does, if he hits 270, he's an all-star with the way he can pick it at shortstop. But right now, Jeff Gray wants to get this hitter right here.
Poke to the left side, through for a base hit. Moustakas around third. Revere's arm comes up short and off target, and the Royals get a second run here in the 8th inning and now lead by a pair. So the number 9 batter Escobar pokes a single to the left side of the infield. And Ron Gardenhire will come out and bring in Maloney to face Dyson and then perhaps Gordon.
Little slider that stayed a little bit, had too much of the plate, not quite enough bite. It just kind of got to the plate, not too bad a position for down, but it just kind of got up to the plate and spun. It didn't really have that hard bite, and Escobar whacked it into left field.
Matt Maloney, third pitcher of the inning. on Sunday. It's also Crystal Farms Kids Day. Get to the game early for Kids Day autographs. Free string cheese, courtesy of Crystal Farms. And after the game, kids can run the bases at Target Field, presented by Gillette Children's Hospital. Tickets and more details available at twinsbaseball.com. The Twins hope to come from behind here. They hope the bullpen can help patch a leak here. The Royals have scored a couple runs against the Twins bullpen, specifically Brian Dunsing. And Maloney trying to keep this a 2-run game. Gerard Dyson 0 for 4, reached on an error and scored in the first inning. Inside a ball.
And even with 2 out and 2 runners on, corners have to play up. Justin Morneau playing in front of the runner would normally they'd play back, trying to protect against a base hit, but Dyson runs so well they've got to play in.
Over the inside corner, 1-1.
So really advantage Dyson here with the infield having to play in. Well, that's what speed will do. It will give you opportunities to have bigger holes out there if you can hit.
High hopper over the mound. Carroll knocks it down and saves a run. He had no chance of getting Dyson. And for that matter, Escobar, with his speed, was able to get there before Carroll could even begin to think of flipping to KCA, but he did knock the ball down, keep it in the infield.
Great play by the little shortstop again, going to his left, diving, not catching this ball, just couldn't. There's no way he's going to get anybody out there. But to your point, Dick, that's what you're trying to do as a middle infielder, especially with 2 out, runner on second base. Keep the ball in the infield, keep the runner on second base from scoring. Give your pitcher another chance.
Gordon has had a good night at the plate, driving one. Right center field, Span slides and makes the catch to end the inning. The Royals get 2 to retake the lead.
The Kansas City top half of the 8th, but the Royals have been all over the defense tonight. Alex Gordon robbing a home run. Alcides Escobar with a terrific play. Dyson sliding and making a catch in center field, and Jeff Francoeur with a terrific play. That's the Home Depot doing more on defense. Look at the Kansas City Royals leather tonight.
One of the reasons they have a 2-run lead. Twins will send up Danny Valencia. Try to get something going against Lewis Coleman. Up and in, ball 1. Twins had well, they've had so many great opportunities here to put big numbers up when in reality they've scored more than one run in only the very first inning. Valencia fouls it back in the 7th inning. The single, the hit batter, and with Morneau hitting a little fly ball to center, Dyson with his legs running it down, and Domit's humpback liner to right. Francoeur was given credit for the catch, and he turned it into a double play, and then the Royals in the top of the 8th tack on 2 more. 1-1 to Valencia, and a fastball, strike 2. To left center field, down for a hit. Gordon with a nice retrieve, but Valencia will still get to second with a leadoff double. And for the Twins, another runner at second with nobody out. Trevor Plouffe hit a home run earlier in the game, and it is our Coors Light Cold Hard Blast.
Well, I've got nothing against two-homer game from Trevor. Let's tie her up again.
There is this. As dreadful as these two teams have played through the first 3 weeks of the season, somebody's going to win this game and be just 4 games behind the Tigers. They lost tonight to the Yankees 7-6 in a game that Justin Verlander started, and he's been their only reliable starting pitcher. Cleveland did beat the Angels, so the Indians will in all likelihood be alone in first place in the American League Central. 1-0 to Plouffe.
And how about those Angels? My goodness, they're struggling.
Demoting Jordan Walden as their closer. Scott Downs is going to close games for them in the short term at least. And of course the Twins go to Anaheim to play the Angels after this series wraps up Sunday.
Well, you know, everybody kind of handed the Central Division to the Tigers, and everybody thought that the Angels and the Rangers were going to battle out in the West, but you got to play it out, don't you?
Yes, you do.
You really have to play them out.
3-0. Oh, I beg your pardon. A strike at the knees, 2-1. Revere on deck.
You know, I don't know. That ball may be a strike, except it hasn't been tonight. The one pitch that the umpire has not given either side has been a good low fastball. That pitch right there, I think it's probably a strike, but it hasn't been much tonight.
Checks the swing. 3-1.
There's a good take right there. Talk about not being too anxious to pull the ball. If you're anxious to pull the ball, you're going to swing and miss that, because you're going to swing at the first thing you see, thinking it's a fastball. Good take by Trevor. He's in a good hitter's count now. Now he can look for a ball he wants. And this has got to be right where he wants it.
Ball 4. Plouffe with the home run. That's nice to see, but a couple of walks too. That's almost as nice to see. So here we are again. First and second, nobody out. Revere to the plate.
Well, you know, they're doing everything that they can. You've got to just keep giving yourself chances, and sooner or later, enough guys in the lineup are going to be swinging well to get some hits and turn it into big innings.
There have been 3 leadoff doubles. There have been 2 other instances where the Twins had runners at first and second, and nobody out.
Nobody out. Yeah, there were two double plays took them out of innings, and I think you're referring to the 4th and then again in the 7th where Lexi Casilla hit into a double play with that really hurt him for a big inning. In the 4th inning, of course, Denard Span picked him up and did drive in 1 run, but they've been getting 1 run in bunches, as you've been kind of alluded to. And the other double play was a terrific catch, actually a trap, but looked like a catch in right field by Jeff Francoeur that took him out of the Twins out of another potential big inning. So here we are again.
Moustakas and Hosmer playing in on the grass. And Revere squares and lays down a beautiful
That's
bunt.
trouble.
And on a close play, Revere is retired on the sacrifice, and the tying runs move into scoring possession. We saw Revere beat out a similar bunt here the other day against the Red Sox. Here he'll get credit for a sacrifice.
Not too different a bunt. The catcher makes a real good play. Watch him charge out of here, take control of it all the way, and makes a really nice play. If he takes any more time, Ben's safe. Gets it, throws on the run, makes a good throw. It's bang, bang. Just did get him. If he takes any more time to set his feet or throw the ball just a little bit off, Ben's safe.
Kansas City 2-run lead, a little shaky right now with another pitching change.
After the game for Twins Live, presented by CenturyLink. We'll take a look at the bottom of the order for Ron Gardner. It's been very productive tonight. Speaking of the manager, you won't want to miss his post-game presser. We'll go inside the clubhouse and hear from Ron Gardner and magnificent Mauer, all about Joe Mauer with a double and a triple and his batting average up to .333. I know one thing, guys, if it gets to Mauer here in this inning, it could be a big inning for Minnesota.
The Twins are looking for. They've had plenty of good starts to what could be big innings. They haven't finished them off. And now Kelvin Herrera comes in to face Alexi Casilla, 2 for 3 as a right-handed batter tonight. Now trying it from the left side. Swing and a miss. You were a switch hitter. Is there any way you can translate how you felt from one side of the plate over to the other in the middle of a game?
Not really, except for your mental attitude. When you got a single and a double and you're up there in this situation, you feel pretty good about yourself. It's not the same swing. Hopefully Lexi's left-handed swing is going to be okay.
Dribbler right side, it'll get a run in. Betancourt throws out Casilla. Valencia comes in, and Span will be asked to tie the game with another 2-out hit. Span has done that once already in the 4th inning. He hit a little chip shot to left field that tied the game at 4. But in the 6th inning, with runners at 2nd and 3rd and 2 out, Span struck out to kill the rally.
But he's got a right-hander this time. It's a little bit more in his favor.
And he takes low, ball 1.
Boy, I used to love that. I come in a situation I wasn't really sure what a pitcher was going to throw. Hadn't seen him a lot, and he throws. He shows me his fastball, and I'm ahead of the count 1-0. That's the best of all possible first pitch outcomes.
Alex Burnett, Matt Capps warming up. On the outside corner, 1-1. It's a good fastball. Herrera clocked there at 99 miles per hour.
And at 99 miles an hour, the figure that Denard, if he gets to it, it's going to be laid ball outside a little bit. Jared Dyson playing almost left field, and the left fielder playing almost on the line.
And Span waves at the off-speed pitch, gearing up for near a triple-digit heat.
Yeah, that's tough. You get 97 and then 84. But they look at, it's almost like there are 2 left fielders. Remember we used to play and a field was closed? Yeah. Center field's closed right now.
Solid single to center, and Span could
run for a long
time.
You bet.
1-2 here, tying run at 3rd, 2 away. Tap foul as he fought off something in between the 84-mile-per-hour pitch and the 98.
Yeah, don't know what that was, but I don't like it much. I like 98 and I like 84, but 87's hittable. I guess I should say I do like it. Throw it again.
1-2 to Span. Down low. Now, watching Dyson in center field, and he's shifted over even a couple more steps, I think. Could he have looked into the sign from the catcher, seen that it was a fastball, because he was moving to his right even more toward left field as the pitcher was getting ready to deliver?
He's got great eyes. I mean, I think that's a great plan. I used to do that at shortstop all the time, but if you can see from out there, that's pretty good. Here comes a changeup. This could go to center field if Denard could stay on it long enough.
Taken low, and it's 3-2 with Carroll on deck. Well, we've seen Pena's got that luminescent finger nail polish.
Right. And, you know, Denard figures he hit a 98-mile-an-hour fastball in the left field, so I don't think they're wrong in playing him that way. But if the pitcher throws him wants to throw him that changeup for a strike, that's a center field type of shot.
Full count to Span, and he asks for time. It's got to be fastball here, though, doesn't it? At 3-2.
Looks like he wants to throw him that changeup again. I like it.
Pull to the right side, right at Hosmer. And the Twins get one, but leave the tying run 90 feet away. Stay tuned for the Gander Mountain weekend weather update for Twins territory. A cool night here at Target Field, and a night where the Royals have led most of the way. The Twins had a brief 4-3 lead. The Royals got a couple in the first and a couple in the eighth that put them in the lead late in the game. The Twins got one back, and now Billy Butler will face Alex Burnett leading off the Kansas City ninth. High and tight, ball one. Burnett just one earned run allowed in 10 2/3 innings.
Yeah, he's pitched very well and needs a good inning right here.
Popped straight up in the air. Doman for the first out.
Get the boys, as TK would say, get the boys back off the field and on the bench and give them a chance to win the game in the ninth. Alex Burnett's got good stuff. His problem again, but similar to Jeff Gray, although not as many walks, but just a little bit too wild in terms of getting behind hitters. But he's got a good live fastball. He's got a good breaking ball. He's got a bulldog mentality. The Twins are high on him with good reason, and he just, if he can find the ability to go strike one, strike two, strike one, strike two against everybody, he's going to be very, very good.
Grounder to short. A couple of fastballs, and Hosmer's put away, 2 down. That'll bring up Francoeur.
That's what I'm talking about right there. 2 good pitches to Butler, 2 strikes, good hard strikes to Hosmer. Just keep pouring it in there.
Jonathan Broxton is the Kansas City closer now, with Joaquin Soria done for the year. Broxton got the save last night. First save opportunity for the Royals in 2 weeks with the 12-game losing streak. There's a ball blasted to center. Span back, and boy, you couldn't get the team off the field much quicker than Burnett did. 3 quick outs in the top of the ninth. Early, he hit a home run early, stole a key base for the Royals. If you look at the game reset, the Twins have been playing from behind most of this game. And over the years, of course, the Royals led late. It was Joaquin Soria, one of the better closers in the game. He had kind of an off year last year, and then this year in spring training, they found an elbow problem, and he just underwent his second Tommy John surgery.
That's really too bad.
So Jonathan Broxton, who used to close games for the Dodgers, has had mixed results here. 2 saves in only 3 opportunities. His blown save came against the A's when he hit back-to-back batters, the last forcing in the game-winning run. So Broxton will face Carroll, Mauer, and Morneau, and then the Twins hope to send as many more to the plate as necessary to score at least 1 here in the bottom of the 9th.
Well, this is what you want. You got a table setter, and then the big boys. You couldn't ask for a better spot in the lineup to lead off the 9th, so let's go.
Carroll singled, leading off the 7th, his last time up, his only hit of the night. Former teammates here. Broxton against his shortstop for the Dodgers the last couple of years anyway, Jamie Carroll. Chopper to short, and Escobar has an easy play, 1 down. Broxton, as you can tell, is a big man, but find it refreshingly honest here in the Kansas City media guide. They list him at 6'4" and an even 300.
I'm not arguing.
Most media guides would go in at 290, 295. I don't think CC Sabathia has ever weighed $300 pounds officially in his life, but he's tipped the scales at a little bit over that, I think, from time to time. Always listed at 290.
Right. Well, those 300 pounds can rush it up there. He's got a good arm, and you have to be very, very good to catch up with the fastball that speed. But these next 2 guys can do it.
Mauer with a pair of extra base hits, an early triple and a double. in his third inning at bat. And he takes low, ball one. Hit by a pitch his last time up. And you're looking at Mauer's season average at .333, and tonight at least a couple of extra base hits.
I've always thought when a guy was throwing real hard like Broxton does, you've got to get your hit zone real small. Get it right down there, like right where that glove is, and if it's anywhere else, don't swing it. But you want it right in one spot. Narrow down your sight line, because when a guy's throwing hard, you tend to swing at a lot of stuff, trying to be in a hurry to catch up. Randy Bush and I used to talk about this all the time. The harder a guy threw, the smaller I wanted my strike zone to get, and I wanted to be very, very selective until I got to 2 strikes.
1-1 to Mauer. On the outside corner. A 96-mile-per-hour fastball. Mauer doesn't agree.
I'm gonna bet this ball's outside. I'm gonna bet with Joe on this one. Yeah, it's outside and probably low too. This guy doesn't need that kind of help. That makes such a difference. 2-1 and 1-2 to a hitter.
High fastball got him 2 down. So that'll leave it up to Morneau.
This is an almost impossible pitch to hit. You throw a 97 up there underneath somebody's hands, even a good hitter. And oftentimes, even especially a good hitter, that's the one spot that is going to give him the most trouble. And he's forced to swing at that because the count went to 1-2 instead of 2-1.
Here's Morneau, an RBI single in the first, a line out in the third. The Royals turned a couple of nice plays on him to keep him hitless since then. Same pitch, same call.
I don't believe the umpire can see that from where he is. He's blocked by the catcher. There's no other explanation for it. I think it's a total guess out there on the outside part of the plate when he sits inside like that.
Why not try it farther?
Yeah,
outside.
I mean, you just keep throwing it there if he's gonna call it.
One and one. It's down to their last out, down a run. And now 1-2 with Morneau spinning back to an off-speed pitch.
Yeah, a little slider right there that was down. Justin with a good swing at the ball. I think Broxton was lucky with that pitch. That's Justin got a big end right to the, watch this, he gets a big end right to it, just underneath it, and he knows, yeah, gosh, that was one that he knew he had a good rip at and just missed.
Now we might see a letter high fastball.
Yeah, there's a good chance we're going to see some overhand hard ball right here. Because believe me, I think the pitcher knows he had a good swing at that, and I know the catcher does.
1-2 to Morneau. Fastball down low. 98. Ankle high. And Yo saw his team suffer through 12 losses in a row. Trying to build a modest 3-game winning streak. 2-2 to Morneau. Very close to where strike one was.
Man, oh man, that's it looked like strike one to Justin. It looked like strike two to Joe. I think they're all outside, and Justin was lucky there. The ball didn't get called a strike. Now he's really got a chance. Broxton wants to come in here with this one. Justin's going to be sitting all over a fastball here. Looks like he might get a breaking ball. 3-2 breaking ball. Pretty gutsy.
Called third strike. And the Twins lose another one-run ball game at home. They've lost all 4 games in this homestand, and 3 of the losses have been by 1 run. And Alex Gordon, a big part of the Kansas City win here tonight. He's our Jimmy John's delivery man of the game.
He sure was the big part. He hit a 2-run home run. He took away this. There's a 3-shot swing right there, and then he stole a base and scored a run. He accounted for about 5 of the Royals' 7 runs, I think. He was a terrific, terrific player tonight.
So Gordon highlighting a Kansas City win here tonight. Anthony, the Twins come up 1 run short yet again.
They've played more 1-run games than anybody in the American League. Tonight they fall 1 short. We'll hear from Gardy. We'll look at the big night for Alex Gordon. All next on Twins Live.